This is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about something. This show I just finished watching, it's on Netflix, called The Fall of the House of Usher. It was created by Mike Flanagan. He's done other shows, movies, but this is all based on an Edgar Allan Poe story. And the original story of just to so you understand, I've read the story. Here's essentially the story. A friend is called to comes visit a friend. An unnamed, we're basically seeing it from the unnamed friend. He's telling this story about going to visit his friend, Roderick Usher. Because he received a letter, and he goes to, complain about, as it says here, this is pretty much the plot of the story. I'm not talking about the show, this is the story. And essentially, he goes and visits him, and essentially, we find out that, Roderick has a twin sister, Madeline and Rod, they're twins. And essentially, as the story implies, the House of Usher will fall. It's written by Edgar Allan Poe. And so the show is called The Fall of the House of Usher. But the show itself, basically, each one is based on a story of Edgar Allan Poe's. Like, A Midnight Dreary, that's from The Raven itself. The story's called The Raven. A Midnight Dreary, these are the episodes, The Mask of Red Death. Now, what's fascinating is The Mask of Red Death in the story, if you've read it, and this, there's a lot of similarities between them. It's how it deals with the party. Without giving too much away, read it, and then there's the Black Cat, there's the Telltale Heart, Goldbug, The Pit and the Pendulum, The Raven. Yeah, and here's the cast. I will bring up the cast again. It's actually really solid cast. And pretty much it stars Bruce Greenwood as Roderick Usher, and you have Mary McDonald plays his twin sister Madeline. You get their story at the beginning. Each episode's really good, and we have like the kids, like Henry here plays Frederick, and I'm trying to find Tamberlin. These two are the children that Robert had with his first wife on in the show. Like I said, deviates from the story, The Fall of the House of Usher, and deals with the children. He basically slept around, after his marriage fell apart and his wife. This is Kate Parker plays Roderick's first wife. She has both Frederick and Tamara. They're his twins. And then we meet the rest of them. They're all literally children. He slept around a lot. Let's put it that way. This is Leo Usher. Arthur is the lawyer. Gino is Roderick's current wife. And Verna, well, you have to watch the show to really get to know who Verna is. And Carla Gione is so fucking fantastic as Verna. And yeah, you meet all the other kids and everything. And Michael here plays in the flashbacks of young Madeline and young Roderick. He's basically Roderick's boss. And basically, this is the younger brother. This is, like I said, these two are the first kids. This is young Roderick. This is Roderick's wife. She eventually leaves her husband, not given, you'll find out. Basically, they're married. These are their kids. She leaves eventually because Madeline and Broderick, they basically decide they're going to work with this guy right here to take down Rufus. And essentially, and Annabella Gish plays their mother, Broderick and Broderick and Madeline's mother, and she hadn't slept with the kid's father. This guy right here. Yeah. He was basically the man that their mother had an affair with. And they are the product of that affair. Yeah. And he's married to this woman, and basically he denies her kids, and yeah. And their life is kind of fucked up from the beginning. It's so well done. These characters are so well written. And with the exception of, this is Verna, you'll find out who she is as the show progresses. Let's take that off. The only ones on this show that are actually, besides the mother, Annabelle, that we're talking about Frederick and Tamarin's mother, is their mother is kind of mentally ill and very religious and everything. Is of the bloodline. We're talking people in this family that are directly related to Roderick. Is, well, like I said, his wife, his granddaughter, which is, ironically, when we meet her, she's right here, Lenore, Usher. If you know the Raven, you know who Lenore is in the story, but here it's his granddaughter. She's innocent. Her mother is right here, and for the most part, she's an innocent woman, but there's a little thing that she almost does go through with, but she pays a price for that, but survives, and her husband's an absolute piece of shit for what he does to her. Without giving that away, this is Tamerlane's husband, and she's an absolute piece of shit. All the kids are shit. All of them are, Roderick's kids are all actual shit. They are. They're some of the most narcissistic, and it's really kind of not their fault, because it has to do with Roderick himself. Yeah. Basically, when his wife leaves him, his kids, right here, could have had a normal life, but basically when Roderick basically betrays his wife and, what he, like I said, as the show goes on, like I said, it's so well written, and Mike Flanagan is such a talented director and creator. He has a couple other shows, and really, the star of this show, the people that carry this, everybody's great in it. Nobody gives a bad performance. You basically find out the kids, all of, whether they're illegitimate or considered legit children, are complete assholes. The granddaughter, played here by this actress, she's probably the most innocent of his bloodline, and she's a very likable character. The actress is really good, Kaylin Karan, I think that's how she is so likable as Lenore Usher. Her mother's likable too, but she's flawed. She's like most people, very flawed. The thing is, money will corrupt your soul, and this show shows that, with Roderick and his sister. And essentially, and her, like I said, each episode is sort of named after, except for the first one, that comes from the Raven, Midnight Dreary, yeah. But the others are, I think, named, I know that Mask of the Red Death is a story by Edgar Allan Poe. I've read it. It pretty much, the whole what happens at this party pretty much goes almost to a T what's in the actual story. And Carly Gioni, so goddamn good. So good as Verna. Well, like I said, without giving anything away of what she is, she basically plays a part throughout the episode, with each episode dealing with his kids. And Roderick, he didn't start out as a piece of shit. He became a piece of shit, mainly because he was being influenced by his sister. When you see him younger, he's married, he has this, his wife's a lovely, woman. He works at this corporation that he and his sister's father created. And Rufus here is the CEO. He runs the company. He's a dick on all levels. But he's typical of a CEO of a corporation, of a company. And essentially, there's a plan of, I'll get into it. There's a plan that basically young C. Augustus here gets with young, Zach and his wife and Madeline, and tells them that he's working at trying to take down this corporation, which I'll just say is evil corporation. Not because it's because of what they do. They cause death toll and suffering to people. And essentially, there's some fraud involved, and everything. And so he sits down with them, convinces them the plan is to take down the company. And everything, looks like it's going to go that way. Until basically Roderick, played by Zach Gilford, decides, because his sister, of course, got in his ear and convinced him to basically screw the plan, so that he could become, the star, the hero of the company. Because her bigger plan was what they do to him, to Rufus, and how they meet Verna. Yeah. And because of what he does, by screwing the whole plan up, basically Verna leaves him. She realizes he isn't the man she thought he was. So Roderick basically is in it for the money. He becomes the CEO of the corporation. His sister, becomes a CFO. They're both basically corrupt assholes. So Roderick, his kids are like this because of him. Because, they're all stuck up, pretentious, dickish, asshole kids. This lady right here she has this idea to save people's lives through this pump that you put on the heart that'll keep it pumping and be able to detect. And it sounds like a noble thing, but she becomes kind of a horrible person. Yeah. And yeah, you have this whole family, they're all kind of dicks. Mark Hamill's really good as Arthur Pym. He's the lawyer, sort of a mercenary that cleans up, to protect the family and the business. He'll do anything to protect his boss and the company. And Carmilla here, she's in the show, she has blonde hair. She is his daughter. She has a different last name, but she's like the person who's PR person. She deals with trying to make the company seem good, even though they're shit. And one of the trailers for this on Netflix tells you what each of the characters, like, Tamara wants to be an entrepreneur. She wants to save people through this thing that she's created. She figures she can, but she does. she's kind of a horrible person because of what she does to these chimpanzees. And then Carmilla, her sister, finds out that from certain employees that she may be doing things, lying about the numbers of the chimpanzees that survive and everything. And Henry is basically the heir. But he's an asshole. And he really, all he's ever wanted is his dad's approval. And unlike his sister, who really is trying to start a company and, isn't a terrible person, she really wants to try to help people better their lives. So, essentially, okay, I'm going to give away just a little bit. When we meet, there's a point in the past where these two, right here, where is it? These two, Roderick and his sister, decide they're going to deal with him. So they do a terrible thing to him without giving it away. And then they meet at this bar, they meet Verna. They don't call her Verna. That's what, supposedly her name is. Well, if you pay attention, you know what Verna really means. And she offers them a deal. The deal is this. You can have basically everything you want, all the good things you want, but here the deal is, you two will die together, but whatever bloodline you have, your entire bloodline will die before you two die together. And essentially Roderick doesn't even hesitate, he accepts the deal. That means everybody in his kids, his two kids here, if they have any kids, like this, these two will die, he will die, she will die, he will die, she will die, and she will die. She's the only one that won't die because she's only married to him. So she's not the bloodline. Oh, and by the way, she plays one of the securities, and so does he, I think, if I remember right. But yeah, essentially, the deal they make is, Madeline, I'll just give it away, doesn't end up having any kids, but Roderick does. He has Frederick and Tamron with their mother. He ends up having, she doesn't. She gets married to this guy. Decent guy, by the way. It turns out he wants to help his wife succeed, helps her build this company, and, you'll find out as you watch it. But essentially, he ends up getting married to her and has a daughter. So this guy's married to her, has this Lenore here, his daughter. The only one of his kids that actually fucking bothered to get married and have a kid. I'm not sure what her, they imply that these two they're a couple, but she's a surgeon, a heart surgeon. And we find out he's gay. They don't shove it in your face that he's gay. It's sort of that his character, he has a Asian lover. He's basically promiscuous of his kids. She's sort of like the fixer in the PR. She doesn't have any kids either. Ambitious. They're all kind of ambitious kids. Now, Juno here is married to Roderick, and she married him because she felt that he saved it. She explains that when she met him, she was in the hospital because she lost a leg, and she thought he saved her life. So that's why she married him. He reveals his real motivation for marrying her, and it's messed up. Like I said, he's not a good person. And so, yeah, the deal is basically if they have any heirs, they will die before these two die. This was the deal. They become successful. Like I said, their kids are all complete, narcissistic. I mean, she literally kind of a bitch because she's trying to start a company that will help improve people's lives. She wants to be able to save people by creating this thing that you put on the heart that will detect any issues with heart and stop them. It sounds noble, but she does terrible things, you find out, and yeah, she kind of not a very good person. Of course, he right here is an absolute piece of shit. What he does on the show, especially later on to his wife, who, I don't want to give too much away because you should watch this show. It's well crafted. Mike Flanagan is probably, this guy, if you look at his stuff, it's like, yeah, he's just, done a lot of, yeah, created a lot of things. He has movies and everything. Yeah, we could look at like Mike Flanagan. Like here, this is a mini series, without giving too much away. Mike Flanagan. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Really good director. You can look at his filmography of TV and movies. This is stuff where he directed. In some case, you can see it right here. This is what he's written in, like this one, and this one he produced, but these he didn't. But he wrote all this stuff, editor of all this. Yeah, he's the creator of he directed. And the problem with it, I'll say this, one problem with Dr. No Sleep is because Stanley Kubrick butchered the book for his movie. This book doesn't, he had a real problem with doing the movie, trying to make it connect with the movie and not the book because of how different it is. Like, this is his early stuff, television, The House. I'm watching this right now. It's on Netflix. But, yeah, I started watching this. I haven't finished Midnight Mass. He also has, I think this is also on Netflix. He's like, he does have, seemingly, I think has a contract with Netflix to do work for them. But yeah, he's crafted this great show called the Fall of the House of Usher, based on Edgar Allan Poe's story. And what's fascinating about it is that he literally has taken the essence of the story and created this mini-series that takes, like, some of the books that he's, like the Pit and the Pendulum becomes an episode, the Mask of the Red Death, and of course the last episode is called The Raven, not giving anything away there. But yeah, this is a show well written, and all well written characters, and like I said, Bruce Greenwood, he carries the show on his back. He's great supporting cast, and when he's sitting here with August Duncan. By the way, this actor right here, Carl Lumbly, did a show, I think it was in the 90s, called The Mantis. Go, if you can get it, watch it. It's a really good show. It's sad that it didn't continue, but yeah. The thing is that the show is so crafted, all the characters are well written, and yeah, it's one of Netflix's best shows that they have, and done by Mike Flanagan. So I highly recommend you watch this. Yeah, and he also did a movie called Hush that's on Netflix. Worth watching. Great movie. Like I said, he's like David Bruckner. I think it's Dave Bruckner. He did the Hulu Hellraiser. Yeah, but yeah, this is worth watching. I just want to talk about this for a little bit. Go watch it. It's really good. It's solid. It's only 8 episodes, but it just, they're literally about an hour long. Except for the last one's a little longer, but Carla Gioni is just fantastic. If you figure out what her character is, you understand what she represents on the show. I go into spoilers about her if you switch the Verna. Okay. If you know what the Raven is, okay. A lot of people, the whole thing with the Raven is that some people consider them good luck. A lot of people consider them bad luck. But usually they're representation of death itself. And so, take that what it is. It's a clue to what she is on the show, but she's so good. And, with only one of the characters does she literally feel deserves to die. The others, this is part of that contract. She's nothing personal. But with one character, she particularly really wanted to kill him. But everybody else, like she said, it's nothing personal. It's a contract that she made with him and his sister when they were younger. These two, yeah. So it's worth watching. I would definitely check it out if I were you. Great show. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.